This is section 2.6. Yeah, it is section 2.6, right? Question number 51. Right here, guys, right? The key part about this is that don't focus on the word horizontal and vertical per se. Of course, you have to check for that. But the follow-up was check your work by graphing the curve and estimating the asymptotes, right? So when they do that, there's potential for asymptotes that are not necessarily horizontal. So how do you do that? Well, look, first what I did was I factored and then cross cancel, and that obviously tells me there's a hole at x equal to 1, right? So for me to calculate that, all I gotta do is plug that into what is remaining, and then I'll find out that let's see, what is y value over there? That's 1 squared plus 1 over 1 minus 5, which is 2 over negative 4 is negative half. Therefore, there's a hole at 1 negative half. Okay. Now, after that, what I did was I actually did a long division, and that right there is q of x. 30 is the remainder. Do you see that, guys? Now, if you sort of think about this, right? When x equal to 5, you know that's a vertical asymptote, so that doesn't change. So as x goes to infinity, this thing becomes a 0. Is that making sense? But this thing over here, it just is x plus 6. That's the slant asymptote. Okay, for those of you who have pre-calc honors, that should be very familiar. So if I could, it's going to look something like this. If this is a 6, it's going to look something like this. Okay, let that be 6. And then we have 5, x equal to 5. See this right here, guys? So that will be the vertical asymptote. X equal to 5. So we got 1 and 2, right? So 2 is, 5 is about here. So x equal to 5. So if you put it in your calculator, graphic calculator that is, this is what you would have found, okay? But I'm going to do this by hand. So if I plug in for x equal to, when you do that, 0 and negative 1, isn't it? Right. So those are my x-intercepts, isn't it? Now, the problem is that 1 is a hole. So we have a hole right there. And then let's look at the zeros, guys, okay? Numerator is equal to 0. So they are negative 1 and 0. Okay? Okay, oopsie. So that was not it. My bad. So there'll be 0s here and negative 1s over here. And it's going to be kind of like this. And so it's going to be 0 here. But this will be a hole right there. And because that's the only time that'll be negative, that right there is 1 negative half, right? And if you plug in a couple of values, this is what you're going to see. We could go more into this later on, but essentially this is what they were asking. So looking at this over here, this will help us guide graphing this thing. So it looks like this, and then it has to go down this way. But if you did like, what do you call that thing? Yeah, sign analysis, okay? So lesson is that if the numerator is 1 degree higher than the denominator, it's a slant asymptote. So keep that in mind. So once again, that right there is a slant asymptote, and that's q of x. So y is equal to q of x, which therefore is y equal to x plus 6. All right, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you in class.